to start with the Lord's Prayer, and anyone who wants to join me, please do. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. We're gathered here to pay a lasting tribute of respect to our departed brother, Roy Carlson. When the call of our country was heard, self was forgotten in the cause of the greater good. As a brave man, he marched away with an abiding faith in his God, his country, and his flag. The red of our country's flag was made redder still by his service. The white, more stainlessly pure by the motives which impelled him. And in the starry field of our nation's glorious banner, the blue has been glorified by the service he has given for American ideals. One by one, as the years roll on, we are called upon to fulfill these sad duties of respect to our departed brave Vernon. He left his home to defend his country with a spirit of devotion and inspired by an undying love for the country he has served. He gladly went forth and joined with others, both young and old, to preserve our heritage of freedom. We trust the example he set will prove a glorious beacon to the youth of our country, who may be called upon to uphold the honor of our flag. As the years roll on, we too shall have finished our fight, shall be laid to rest, and our souls follow the long calling to the realms above.
Tahoma is the Puget Sound Native American name for Mount Rainier, the namesake of these hallowed grounds. Therefore, we feel it's entirely appropriate to offer the uplifting Northwest Native American Memorial on Death. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond blinks on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circling flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry, I am not there, I did not die. As I realize from this poem, nature will be an everlasting reminder of your loved one's presence, lest we forget.
Air Force, post. When you get the flag all the way open, that's the signal to fire. How do you? Attention.
Ready?
Absolute.
Fire. Fire. Fire.
I have a reading I'd like to do for you called Freedom is Not Free. I watched our flag pass by. It fluttered in the breeze. A young airman saluted, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. The haircut squared, and I knew he would stand out in any crowd. I thought how many just like him had fallen through the years, how many died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many died at sea, how many foxholes served as soldiers' graves. No, freedom is not free. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. When I heard the bugle play, I felt a sudden chill. I thought about how many times taps had meant amen when our flag had covered the casket of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the children, of mothers and wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves that told, no, freedom is not free. This was written by Cadet Major Kelly Strong, Air Force ROTC from Homestead High School, Homestead, Florida. The streets not perfectly represent beauty, honor, and country. Please accept them in the reclamation. I'm so sorry for the loss. This envelope will be prepared by the cemetery staff and it will be finding out of the operation. We will love those remains there. And also if you have any questions, just remember my call. So sorry for the loss.
I'm going to say that the last time John called me to go us to the graveside, there's a lot of people here, or by the graveside, and at the end, John went around and gave everybody a silver dollar, and that's when I realized that he paid everybody to be here. So what I'm going to get, I'm not so sure, but I don't think that's the case today. Okay. I know people don't like to see. As we come to the end of this phase in our life, we find ourselves trying to remember the good times and trying to forget the bad times. And we find ourselves thinking about the future. And we start to worry, thinking, what am I going to do? Where am I going to be in 10 years? But I say to you, hey, look at me. Please don't worry so much, because in the end, none of us are very long on this earth. Life is so fleeting. So if you ever get distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strong in the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish and think of me, and make your life spectacular. Kathy Carlson Duchesne's wrote a really nice eulogy, and she's asked me to read it for you. Roy Vernon Carlson Jr. was born December 12, 1947 in Seattle, Washington, just 13 months after me. Our mother, a devout Catholic, ensured we attended St. Edward's for grade school, and then where Roy formed a lifelong bond with his friend Tom Spain. Our Swedish-speaking Carlson grandparents often babysat us, enriching our childhood with stories and traditions from Sweden. Roy served as Father of Callahan's altar boy, faithfully assisting at funerals and masses. He was an adventurous spirit, biking with the neighborhood boys and even making a memorable ride to Tahoma. His room was a testament to his creativity, filled with meticulously built airplane models, which he sometimes imaginatively destroyed. As an older sibling, I experienced both the joys and challenges of having Roy as a little brother. One memorable incident involved him waving a pencil across my book repeatedly while I tried to read. My patience wore thin. I chased him and gave him a shove that sent him tumbling over the bed. He later returned with tears, claiming I had knocked him out cold. My apology and a big hug quickly restored our bond. Around the age of 11, Roy and his neighborhood boys loved playing in the woods at the end of our street. And one day, I saw them sprinting home, pursued by a swarm of bees. Roy burst into the house, frantically swatting at the bees. I grabbed a broom and joined the fray, swinging like a martial arts warrior. We eventually got rid of the bees, but Roy emerged looking like he had lost a fight with a porcupine. While I attended Holy Names, Roy went to O'Day High School, where he formed lasting friendships. High school friends, as they say, are the ones who know you before you find yourself and stand by you while you find yourself. Roy cherished these friends, proud of their enduring bonds. The financial strain of paying for 2 Catholic high school educations led Roy to take on 3 paper routes to cover his tuition. This determination and self-reliance defined him throughout his life. He never mentioned this sacrifice, and I only recently learned of it, highlighting his modesty and his resilience. Roy found joy in his work as a mechanic at the Sheen's Texaco, often visited by his O'Day friends, creating a lively atmosphere. His pride soared when he was accepted into Air Force, where he served 2 tours in the Vietnam War. His first tour in Thailand as a mechanic with the 23rd Tactical Air Support was marked by the comforting connection of occasionally seeing my future husband Don, stationed nearby. His last tour in Vietnam with the 17th Special Operations Squadron was one of bravery and honor. He was awarded the Air Force Foundation Medal for saving an AC-119 gunship from crashing and received 6 combat air medals. Sadly, his exposure to Agent Orange all shared in that pride. After his military service, Roy's career with airborne air freight took him to Buffalo, Seattle, Houston, Anchorage, Spokane, and Tri-Cities, where he eventually opened his own freight company. He later retired and found joy driving trucks for Frontier, embracing the rhythm of the open road. Roy cherished his wife, Bess Klaus, and their children, Doug and Shelley Klaus, as his own. He was a proud grandfather to Tyler, Trevor, and Logan. Married for 36 years, Roy and Bess shared a love for Seahawks Sundays and had their photograph taken with Steve Largent, a moment Roy proudly displayed. Roy loved long trips, visiting casinos, sharing laughter and excitement with Bess. These simple pleasures brought them closer and filled their lives with joy. On what turned out to be his final road trip for Frontier Trucking, Roy found himself in Snoqualmie Pass one winter evening in a blizzard, needing to chain up his truck. Struggling to breathe, he couldn't manage the chains on his own. But then a fellow trucker came to his aid, installing the chains for him. When Roy offered to pay, the kind stranger refused, instead grasping Roy's hand and praying for his safe return. Though we will never know the identity of this compassionate trucker, his act of kindness will always be remembered. Vernon Carlson Jr. was a man of dedication, love, and quiet service, and quiet sacrifice. His legacy is one of strength, humility, unwavering commitment to those who loved him, and those he loved. His memory will live on in the hearts of all who knew and loved him. We're not quite finished here. We have some more stuff to do, and then stay in your seats, and once the military portion is over, we're going to share a few more words, okay?
Air Force, post, and salute. Thank you very much for letting my loved one on go before of your loved one's service today. Every person that, every hero that comes here to be laid to rest is special to us. And I did want to say that please don't think of this as a sad place. It is, of course, on sunny days, it's a lot more beautiful. Sometimes it snows, but every day it's beautiful. And there is a lot of nice roadways you can walk around, you can drive around or just walk. It's pretty ground. And all the heroes, including yours, like to have people come and see them. So have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you very much for coming.
Where's Tom Spain? We'd be honored if you would like to speak.
Thank you.
Keep it down to about 45 minutes.
Well, I had about 47 pages, but I've edited it down somewhat. It's really nice to see everyone here today honoring Roy. And first and foremost, we would like to express our profound respect and gratitude to Bess Carlson for your loving care for Roy, especially over these last difficult months in the last year. You've been a wonderful wife, and he's so lucky to have you as a life partner. And thank you very much for all you did. It was a long haul for him. Roy was our friend for close to 70 years. I met him in the first grade. Mike Fox is here somewhere, and he was one of the cohorts there also. There's a few of us in this crowd. But, you know, more than that, more than being a friend, he was a member of our family. And our daughters called him Uncle Roy, and they gushed over him and embarrassed him, and he was delighted with it, but he was squirming every moment, being so uncomfortable, being the center of attention. He was a great friend, could always rely upon him, and he was just this thread in our lives that was always there. We're really blessed to have him in my life, our lives. We've already spoken a little bit to his patriotism and his service, and the fact that he was a distinguished veteran. The last time I spoke to him, I was lucky to have a 2.5 hour conversation with him. And we talked about everything from cats to the wild road trip from Seattle to Houston 40 years ago, which could be made into a terrible movie. During that last conversation, he did mention that he wanted to be buried here at Tahoma with the guys like him. He really appreciated his veteran brothers very much. And people like our classmate John King are here, and also another guy who was affected by Agent Orange, as was Roy. We already spoke a little bit about his service commendation for saving the airplane one night in Vietnam. Well, to elaborate on that a little bit, what occurred, Roy was in the back of the plane and he was directing the gunnery and so on. And one of the flares they deployed didn't eject from its holder and it stuck to the side of the plane. Roy hung out the side of the plane and knocked it off and got it loose. That plane was full of munitions and there could have been a real problem. I believe that he saved all of his crew members' lives that night. So we come 60 years forward or what have you. Don DeShane and I are having a conversation about this incident, and he asked Roy, why did you do that? Hanging out of the airplane. And Roy said, it seemed like the thing to do. that was Roy. Self-effacing, self-deprecating, whatever you have there. But he was not a boastful guy. He was everybody's friend. He had so many friends. It was sometimes amazing. Frequently people ask, is there a charity or a service or something like that you could make a donation to in his memory? And Linda and I talked about that, and we thought of Disabled American Veterans or perhaps the Wounded Warrior Project. He would like that. Lastly, the O'Day crowd is still pretty tight, very tight, thanks in large part to Larry Ramirez and others in the group who keep the communication going. And when the announcement went out that Roy had passed, all kinds of stories came in. And they were wonderful stories, from different things. Dave Barnard talking about how he met Roy in the summer before we started at O'Day, and they were playing soccer, and they were on opposing teams, and they collided and knocked each other out. And that was their introduction to each other. And Dave's a great guy. He's still here. And another was one from Bill Johnson, and Bill and Roy were tight buddies, and they were mechanic types, and especially in high school. And Roy sold Bill this, I think it was a '54 Chevy in parts for the princely sum of $50. And they managed to get it to a car wash where, as they washed it, it was a self-washing car wash. The car went from green to yellow because all the paint came off of it. And this was just another one of those things. But one of the things in particular that caught my eye was a comment from our friend and classmate Mike Bannon. And he said, Roy was a good man. A true friend. And my memories of him still bring a smile to my face. The hard part is over for him. Rest in peace, my friend. Thanks for all the good times. Thank you. Almost made it.
You probably all know you've been invited to kind of refreshments. It's you said it's a wine bar? Yeah. A wine and whiskey. And tonight is dance night, so you should go. This will be an opportunity for you to share stories. My advice to you is, I know it's really tough to share stories. If you can't stand up and share a story, write the story down. If you have photographs, attach the photographs to the story. Okay. Because this family needs to put together a 3-ring binder with all the achievements that Roy has made in his life, all the fun he's had in his life. And when you think about supporting some organization, military organization, the guys that we saw here today, they're all volunteers. They all serve the country, and they all come down here on a rotation and spend the whole day here. It's a really an amazing place. And when you do talk about Roy, don't say was, say is. Because the more you mention his name, and the more you say is, the longer he will be part of your life. And those stories are really great because they're kind of the creation of myth, life. after a while, it doesn't matter if the stories are true or not. Okay? Because the more myth they are, the more fun they are to talk about. There was a Canadian who, during World War II, came over from Canada to join the Royal Air Force. John Gillespie McGee, and he wrote a poem called High Flight. And I want to share this with you. It was shortly after he wrote this and sent it to his parents that he was involved. I don't know whether he was shot down or whether he was just in a flying accident. Depends which side of the World Wide Web you look at. Anyway, oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth, and I danced the skies on laughter silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sunsplit clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along, and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, hilarious, burning blue, I've topped the high swift heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent lifting mind I trod the high unprecious sanctity of space, I put out my hand and touched the face of God. And that's what Roy has done. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I was thinking about this poem this morning as I was flying in from Orcus. Not that I'm bragging about being on Orcus, and I just wanted to make somebody else jealous that I was up there. Get those stories going. And the other thing you need to do, as the months go by, we pass all these anniversaries, if you like, birthdays. 4th of July is just gone. Times you have barbecues, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, all the times when you get together as family. And slowly but surely, some of these traditions break up. But there's a family here, there's a wife here. She needs phone calls, okay? Cards. She needs photographs and stories. So don't forget that. Thank you again. Take care.